Hello, it is Monday, August 21st, and we are gathered here tonight to discuss week 2 of the Challenge USA Season 2. It was a big week. We saw 3 eliminations, we saw 2 defections, a lot going on, and tons of stuff to talk about in between. So let's just get right into it, eh?
Hey.
All right, my name is John Dunphy. I am joined, as always, by my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino. How you guys doing? Everybody doing good? Have a good Monday?
No, actually, I actually had a pretty bad day. I didn't get home until almost 7:30. I had a terrible day. So just happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, hopefully we can brighten your day a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I hope so.
We need a good time.
Gina, what about you? How was your Monday?
Today was very much a recovery day for me because this week took everything I had out of me, so I didn't do much.
Okay, there you go. Those were our Mondays. My Monday was run of the mill Monday. But all right, the three of us together make up Strat Chat Pod. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Check out our link tree. Lots of fun stuff in there. We got popularity polls going on and stuff. So check it out, for Big Brother. So, by the look on Kyle's face, maybe we'll have a popularity poll.
No, we will. We have time. It's just like, that's a good reminder.
Yeah. I'm really excited to talk about the challenge.
Yeah, man.
I'm like still getting used to this having like 2 episodes a week thing too. Like I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it feels strange to be doing this with the challenge. Like, what is this, Australia?
I know. I guess that will change eventually, right? But for now we're getting 2 a week. So
yeah. Just hate it. Like, let's not burn off this show. We're having a good time. Let's
take our time. Oh, absolutely.
Let's take our time, yeah. But
absolutely. All right. So I guess we should get into this. Last time when we left, we had seen Johnny leave at the hands of Tori. That was the last time we spoke, which feels forever ago. Yeah.
Right. It really does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But this episode in particular, episode 3, I enjoyed for a number of reasons that we'll get into. But the first thing that I really remember was an alliance that we had here, the Secret Garden. Any thoughts on this alliance? It's Miss Desi, Chanel, Tiffany, both Alyssas, Michaela, and Michelle. There's been a lot of focus on this group.
Yeah.
What do you think about this alliance?
Well, unfortunately, now we're wiser, right? I was really jazzed.
I don't have opinions yet.
Right. I was jazzed when this was first birthed. But now at this point, I think they suck. They don't really have each other's back. It's not an alliance at all.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think I know you want to get into this, Kyle. I guess we might as well. We can kind of go all over the place, right? We're talking about 2 episodes, but I know Tiffany, you said that you were not thrilled with, and I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of Michelle, but I haven't really been loving her on this season.
Well, expand on that. So what has Michelle done that is?
I've been liking Michelle, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Michelle so far.
I honestly could not even pinpoint like a certain particular thing. I don't know. There's just something about her this season that I'm not liking as much as in previous seasons that she's appeared on.
All right. I've really been enjoying Michelle
I
more
like her
so
a lot.
than I usually do. Actually.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Whatever season it was that she played with Jay, I wasn't really digging her that season, and I
think that was Ride or Dies.
Yeah, I don't even remember a specific reason why I wasn't jazzed by her, but I most certainly was not. But I will tell you that, like, since you already mentioned the Tiffany thing, I just feel like I don't know, like she didn't stand up for her girl. Like, we just made this alliance. Like, she was also emotionally vulnerable with you, at the beginning of, what is this, episode 4?
Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah, Desi had a lot of self-doubt there. Yeah, a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I really wish that I could see myself the way that other people see me. And then, like, when push really came to shove, she didn't stand up for her. Is it really because we find that Josh is really that intimidating?
I mean, I've seen her getting kind of shredded on, I was going to say on feeds. I've seen her getting kind of shredded on Twitter about this. And she keeps saying, like, the whole thing is, you know, I'm here to play for the money. I'm here to play for my son. I'm not here to throw myself into elimination because I'm trying to protect somebody else. And because,
I
you know,
hear that.
when you
I do.
stalemate, you do run the risk of going in yourself. She was like, it's better to just call it.
Yeah. And I do agree with that, right? I mean, it's a numbers game. This is really why we're here. I'm not throwing my game away for somebody else. Just as a viewer, I just wanted, you know, some stick to itiveness. You know, the Tiffany that we saw, you know, in Big Brother 23, that was not going to be shaken. She was not going to be thrown off the plan. So yeah, that's all. Felt disappointed in that way.
I hear you. I also I could be totally remembering this wrong, but I think I'm starting to remember a reason why I wasn't thrilled with Michelle. Like during this, I think it was episode 4, right? That was the vote that sent Desi and Lewis in. I think so. It seemed like the Secret Garden Alliance had a plan, right? And Tiffany and Michelle were the ones that most like didn't stick to it. Tiffany first with voting Desi, or not voting in a way that might help Desi, but also then I think Michelle like really easily gave up on the idea of voting Wes in, which is what the Secret Garden Alliance had discussed, and instead was just like, fine, I'll do Lewis, and kind of was like, oh well, he said my name, so I'll just vote for him. But it's like, and I get it, he said your name, but I think because I remember that meeting breaking and Chanel just staring straight at Michelle, being like, what the hell, you know?
Well, because Chanel's whole thing too was like, all right, I'm willing to compromise on Desi if we put in Wes. So she compromised on Desi, and then they did not put in Wes.
Right. And I think that's part of the reason, because I obviously, like, I agree with you, Kyle. I'm like disappointed, especially that it's Tiffany that was the one that didn't make the move to try to help Desi. But like then I felt like I could feel like Chanel's like frustration in that moment, because it's like, we just have this whole alliance, how we're going to have each other's backs, and now Tiffany does this, and then Michelle with the last vote decides to go against the plan and not send Wes in, because I think they would have had the votes for that too if she had chosen to go Wes instead of Lewis. But
I think it would have been another 3-3. I think it was.
Might have been.
But I will say that Michelle did come into the conversation saying Lewis's name from the beginning. Like, she did say that, because when Josh was going on his big rant, just going on about like, you know, I want, who did he say he wanted? Because there was a whole conversation around who else should go in.
He was pushing for Desi and Lewis.
Desi and Lewis, yes, because he was saying Lewis said my name, and then that's when she fired back with, well, Amanda said mine.
Yeah.
And like, so like she was trying to do some other things, and Lewis also said hers. So like, I mean, in keeping with that, I got that train of thought. It makes sense for why Michelle would kind of go that way, because that at least she had a reason. Even it felt foldy, but like, I felt like she had a justifiable reason. It's like, okay, well, I guess I can get with that too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's definitely different to me than the Tiffany situation. But I'm just like, as I'm trying to sit here being like, wait, why am I not liking Michelle? I think that was finally like that came to my brain. So I just wanted to mention that. But yeah. How about Josh's? Can we just talk about, since we're here? Can we just talk about Josh in that meeting?
We have to.
See, I don't know. I feel like I might have the hot take in this situation, but you guys go ahead. No, you guys go first.
You already know what I'm going to say. If you feel like you have the hot take, give it to us.
Yeah.
So, look, obviously it did not get us the result that we were looking for. And yeah, nobody really wants to see somebody like carrying on and making a huge thing. But for Josh to think that the best thing for his game is to stick with the vets and have as many vets in because he is more aligned with them than he is with the rookies, even though he's technically on the rookies' side, I think he played it really well. Like, you do whatever you have to do to protect your numbers. So even though, yeah, he was carrying on and it was chaotic and it was all over the place, like, he did not let his people go in. Everything that all of this carrying on that he had to do worked to his benefit. He got exactly what he wanted. So annoying to watch, sure, but I think he honestly played it pretty well.
Yeah, I think that see, I think we would be talking very differently about this if Chanel's people hadn't like turned on her, though, is the thing. Like, Josh was in there as like one of the lone vets. Corey was kind of just trying to sit back, And I think that this would have worked out very differently for Josh had Tiffany and even Michelle, even though we do think that her reason is more justified for why she voted Lewis. I think that if they had stuck to their guns to the secret Garden Alliance, like this could have turned out very differently. And then it would have just been Josh throwing a temper tantrum and still not getting his way.
But they didn't stick to their guns. And I think a lot of the reason why is because Josh was not backing down. He fully said, I will stalemate. I don't give a shit. I have no stake in this. I have nothing to lose. I will stalemate and that'll be fine. And they didn't want that. So they said, all right, well, if he's not willing to back down, I guess I have to. And they all folded.
Well, I will tell you, this vote made me like Chanel more than I have ever before on the season. She's tough. I like Chanel.
Well, I saw a tweet too that was like Chanel was almost going to go to rocks on her second tribal. She's not backing down from Josh.
But see, this is where I deviate from all this. Yes, it was effective what he did, and I feel like the way that Chanel was playing it was still strong-arming people in a way, right? We don't have to do all these theatrics to get what we want. Like it was so extra and so over the top.
Yeah,
but
you're Josh is extra.
Oh, so now we're playing.
I expect nothing else
Survivor.
from Josh.
This is exactly what he does, and like he does the same thing that he's accusing them of doing, which is also ridiculous. Right. And then, not to mention the fact that since when are we going to act like we are aligned with the challenge vets? That might be really, really cute right now because they need numbers, but let's not act like Josh has ever been accepted on that side of this politically anyway. So the second, like whatever this size group is, whether it's 5 or 6, once it gets to that point, no one's keeping Josh and you're not going to win that final. So what did you really accomplish here? Like we're gonna act. This was not like Josh's big moment. Like all of a sudden, like he's going to become a challenge champion because of the way that he handled himself in this one deliberation. It was just it was so chaotic for no good reason. I'm so over him. Like it was just so much. Whereas we see Chanel for the first time, like really asserting herself, and I did not come away like feeling that way. I was impressed with how she handled herself and disgusted by Josh's behavior.
Right. I also think.
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I do think that Josh got his way in this vote. Yes, that is absolutely correct. But like Kyle was saying, I think this could negatively impact his way, himself in later in the game. And also, when you really think about it, he actually didn't get his way at the end of all this because the whole tantrum that he did, part of this was to save Amanda. And Amanda still went in and went home. So now you've thrown this whole tantrum, and the person you were trying to save is gone anyway.
At least it wasn't in his hands, though. At least he didn't cause it.
No, but like, I just think that part is funny too.
Really very yummy and very, very delicious.
I was saying, I don't remember if Josh was the one who tweeted it. It might have been, but he was saying that like that deliberation had gone on for like over an hour, and production had to come in multiple times to like calm the tension and be like, you all know what happens if you stalemate, right? Just so we're all aware of like what the risk is of this, and like they had to keep stepping in because it was getting really, really heated.
See, the issue of threatening a stalemate is not what I have a problem with. Like that's fine. That's the game. Like you want to threaten that and you want to force it and you want to risk your game to get this point across. Absolutely. It was all the standing up and the carrying on that was just like,
and the slamming the table and like the
But see, my whole thing is like, is that really that different from what we've seen from a lot of the vets? Like I feel like I've seen behavior like that before,
and I don't always love that either.
Yeah, right. Just okay. I wasn't sure how this stream would go if we would kind of like go through the episodes, but I feel like at this point we should just kind of like talk about all the things that stood out from us from each episode and the drama and stuff, and then like after that we can kind of like very briefly kind of describe what the challenges were and like the eliminations and stuff. But because I wanted to bring up something else that has to do with the red team. What is with Dusty's obsession with Johnny Bananas?
It's disgusting. It's so weird. It's so weird.
What is that?
Like at first I thought it was like endearing and cute, and then I don't know. It just started to make me uncomfortable.
It's
like
weird.
Like the letter really he wrote him.
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
It was very bizarre.
And since we're on Dusty, what are you doing? It's like, do you know what this game is at all?
I got a big problem with him today.
Yeah, like if he's such your hero, like, do you have no sense like at all? You think that it makes any sense for you to to not stick up for the one number you do have? It's like you do realize that the second they need someone, it's you.
Yeah,
like you're next.
And again, it's
crazy to me.
like clearly we are all a little bit biased with how we feel about how this episode played out, but they are really doing the Amazing Race people so they did Lewis so dirty by only having one other number for him in that deliberation or in this house at all. Because like, of course, the Survivor people are going to all stick together. Of course, the Big Brother people are going to all stick together. There is one other Amazing Race person in that house who folded immediately. So like, what chance did Lewis really have? You know?
Right.
Yeah, I still stay that I don't see what I mean. I'm thrilled that we got Lewis on the show, but I don't see what the point is of bringing Amazing Race people on if you're only going to put 2 of them in there and have them. So I mean, because people have talked about like how the CBS people so wildly outnumber the the MTV challenge legends and stuff like, and it's like, but even those vets way outnumber the Amazing Race people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I put up this comment here because this was something on the Challenge USA 1. You don't remember that guy Leo that kept talking about cats all season? Kept calling himself a cat.
Like, I do remember this. I remember this.
I don't remember this at all.
I can't see his face. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup, but I absolutely remember us being like, "What is with the cats?"
No, I don't remember that at all.
You really just left to get the hat and come back.
Yeah, well, because Matt mentioned it earlier, and then I realized I forgot to put it on, and it was bothering me, so I had to get it. I'm gonna try to get a picture of Catman Leo loaded into Restream for you, Kyle.
I don't remember his face, but I absolutely remember being like, "Why are we still talking about cats?"
I don't remember him. But who else whose behavior I did not really enjoy? Didn't love Bananas. I believe that was also episode 3, carrying on like so mad that Fessy didn't vote his way. When have you ever
again?
Been
to
voting?
Me, that's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm also saying I didn't like it. Like it was like ridiculous. Like the one time that he doesn't get his way, like this is how we carry on, as if you've ever worked in Fessy's favor.
But what was funny to me about Bananas too is that like what started off that whole rant was him being like, well, how am I supposed to get to the end of the game if they vote me in? And it's like, well, exactly. The object is to not let you get to the end of the game. Why are you automatically supposed to get to the end of the game? That's the whole point, is to not let you get there.
Horrible. So
it's also pretty rich when you consider that the famous quote, "All is fair in love, war, and challenges." The man who said that quote is the one throwing this tantrum that everyone, for some reason, wants the guy out that's won the game 7 times, literally more than anyone else.
Here? Why do you deserve to be here more than anybody else? That's the game, is to get people out, get targets out. You're a target. Goodbye.
This is literally how every one of these vets is behaving, though. Every one of them, and I don't like any of them.
It's always like that.
Yes, but they are always like that. And I will say I guess it stands out a little bit less because like they almost do just get their way, because like there's always so many of them and they always outnumber everybody else. And this is what we've always said in the beginning of those seasons too. It's like, I almost just want to get through the rookies so we can just get to the game, because like this is not anything. Like it's not exciting. We're just wiping them out and then like whoopee. Like the challenge doesn't really start for 4 or 5 weeks in. Yeah. Now that it's reversed and they don't have they're not getting their way, it's, oh my gosh, it's just so blaring now.
Yeah.
Which is fun in one way, but twice a week.
See, this is how I have always felt, is like I'm just sick of the vets. I don't like most of them and I get irritated for this very reason.
Yeah, it's horrible. This is really horrible.
But that is why when the blue team was deliberating and voting, and they voted in what was that? They voted Bananas, right? And
was it Tori?
They vote? No, because Tori's on the blue team. It was. I guess it doesn't really matter.
No, but now it's going to bother me.
They voted Bananas in, and I remember Tori throwing a tantrum, not as loud and crazy as Josh's, but it was very satisfying to see Tori not get her way, even with like Fessy sitting at the table and Corey sitting at the table. You know, like that was like the vote. The way I was hoping the vote would go against Red this time when Josh was throwing his tantrum, was that somehow we would end up with Lewis being safe. You know, but
no, we lost.
Yeah. What? I feel like we have to talk about Paulie.
Yeah, we breezed right past that episode.
Well, we're jumping all over the place, but I feel like I got to tell you, like could not stand Paulie when I first watched him on Big Brother and when he first came into the challenge. I started to appreciate him more and more as a villain as time went on, and like my distaste for him kind of started to subside. But it was short-lived, and some people are complaining because he's not bringing like the chaos he used to. But I got to tell you, I really, really started to like Paulie on this season in the short time we got him.
I feel like most of what I've heard was praise for being like, wow, he's clearly grown so much as a person. I'm liking him so much more this season. I don't think I've seen anybody complain.
No, it hasn't been the majority. I've just seen a few people on Twitter and stuff being like, I miss the old Paulie that would cause a lot of chaos and cause trouble. But this season, like just seeing him come, like his arc, right, from when he started in reality television to now, and just hearing him talk about his experiences going to therapy, opening up about his sexuality, like it's just, I thought this was like a great, I really, really hope that we see Paulie again, like very soon.
Yeah, I'm even more endeared towards him. I mean, I kind of did enjoy him on the challenge. I did not like him so much on Big Brother, but no, I had come around to Paulie a long time ago. But this was this is an extra little bonus, extra little feather in the cap there.
Yeah, like just and hearing him talk. Yeah, it's so funny too because you can see like they were showing clips of it. At one point, he was having a confessional and talking about how like when he used to appear on these shows, he always felt like he needed to come off as this alpha male. That he was the best competitor. He could kick anybody's ass, not just in a competition, but in a fight if it came to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you could see now that like he probably was not even okay with himself doing that in the moment. I feel like now you can tell that he has like really learned like who he is and grown a lot and like overcome.
He almost
a lot of things, like
felt like he had to compensate and overcompensate by being that like chaotic mess of a person, you know?
So I wish that he was sticking around longer on this season, honestly. It stinks. But okay. Since we just talked about that though, and Paulie going, what did you think of that elimination between Paulie and Bananas?
Well, what was it again?
This was the one they had to stand on the ice blocks. They had those bags that they could throw at the target, which they both continued to just hit one after the other. And then if they lost their arm strength or whatever, and that bucket tipped over, they got dumped with fish guts. That's another like stinger too. It's like, I just got sent home. And now I smell like fish. Thanks.
I liked it.
I thought it was boring.
See, I thought the concept with the flame under the ice was cool. I did not enjoy the beanbag throwing. I wish there was something else we could have done, like to make the flame go back and forth. Even if it was like maybe make that the new trivia. And you have like a finite amount of maybe you have a finite amount of questions or something, and maybe I don't know, maybe different levels of intense heat or something to speed the thing up. But just watching people throw bags back and forth, no, not exciting. But I was excited to see that again, they're trying something new. You know, we're always getting something new. So like I do appreciate that. I
gotta tell you, Kyle, they gotta hire you to start helping make these games because I love that trivia idea. That would have been so entertaining.
I would have been on board with that.
That would have been fun, especially because like most of them are idiots.
So, like, right.
So, you know, that was like the back and forth, or maybe if you get X amount wrong, they have like the largest flame or something. So like, sorry, punishes you instead of it's really about the other person. Who knows? Lots of little variations one could have there.
Yeah, because you're still adding an element of competition, and like it's not just like, oh, I ran out of bean bags, but thankfully you missed your last throw, so now you get flames, and I don't have to worry about it at all. Like,
that's lame. It's like, so what happens once we get to the end? All right, well, I'm out of bags. So like, it wasn't fun to do that, and it wasn't at least like if there was, I don't know, something else that other people can participate in, and it's like tough nookies.
Yeah, it just became like a waiting game of whose ice is going to melt faster, you know?
Not as fun.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But
I agree.
But again, thanks for trying something new. Thank you. You tried it. There's some things you could work out. We'll see it again.
Yeah. So yeah, after that elimination, Paulie went home, and Bananas, we were left on a cliffhanger on Thursday, but we found out last night that Bananas decided to defect, the first person to defect. Were you surprised?
No.
No. Um, I just don't know like how much it matters. It still felt a little early to me.
Oh, I was not surprised at all.
Well, because let's just say
We
Blue
ended on that
starts
cliffhanger.
losing. You're
We
gonna
ended on
end
that cliffhanger, and I was like, "Then why are we even pretending that we don't know how this is going to end?" Like,
right.
of course he's going to
Just
jump.
yeah, but even just game wise, I don't really think it matters a whole lot. If Blue gets into a situation where they're not winning, you're still going to be the target no matter where you go. So
Right.
whatever. Good luck.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that his whole thing was like, "Well, I need to get off of the team that's losing because then I'm a target," and then that team immediately won the next.
Right.
Well, they had a lot of help though, and from Johnny Bananas
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
But by Bananas switching, he did switch places with Corey, which meant that Corey now moved to
Yeah.
red,
Yeah.
with Bananas being on blue. So, but yeah, I guess we should talk about, because that has to do with, that's a big part of the story here from this week, is red finally getting their first win in this side-swiped daily challenge. Green was doing very well. Blue decided there's no way we can win this. Let's just do a solid for red, and then maybe they'll keep us safe. Do you like when teams do this? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, it was entertaining to watch. I personally, like we kind of said, we're biased, so I didn't like that it was going to negatively affect the team that Lewis was on.
Right.
But I do like this kind of gameplay, and I did enjoy Wes being like, "Oh, they're pulling the move that I created 10 years ago."
I am so tired of Wes. I'm so tired of him. It makes it so hard to root for him because he's rooting for himself so hard.
I saw people too on Twitter being like, I don't understand why he's acting like he created this move, or this had been getting done for like half a decade before he even got on the show.
You're like, what are you talking about? Like, he thinks even the little backwards ways that he compliments himself. It's like, oh, I told them all they should go from mid to bottom players, and then once we did Tory and Bananas, I knew they're going to come for me. It's and it's like you're saying one positive thing, but you're also saying that, like, in the same breath, you're still sort of giving yourself a nudge, and it's like you're just so annoying.
Yeah. So with this move, though, this was really, Chris was the one that like led the charge on this, on the blue team. And we saw that immediately after this, going into the elimination, he got a ton of those secret votes. And he did say that fired him up, that like he was ready to get back in the house, because he did ultimately end up going against Lewis in the elimination and unfortunately winning, unfortunately for us. But so that he was using it to fire himself up. Do you think that this could negatively affect him at all, though? Like, do you think that this will be something that comes back to haunt him? Now he becomes a bigger target where maybe people weren't looking at him as much? Or do you think this will kind of just be forgotten and they'll move on to the next challenge and who cares?
That's interesting. I think if it's isolated, they might forget it. But like if he finds himself in the next elimination and he crushes it again, now it's a problem.
Yeah.
So it could be the makings of one.
Okay. Yeah, it was one of those things that I thought, because like my initial thought when he got all those votes was, oh boy, like I wonder if Chris is going to regret doing that. But then like immediately after, it cut to like a confessional of him being like, this has fired me up. And I guess, all right, he's not regretting it.
He's having a grand old time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you think of this elimination, this evil eye?
The evil eye. I enjoyed it. And I thought that the Lewis and Chris battle I thought was really, really good.
But see, apparently there were multiple rounds of this and they only showed one of them.
Oh, so there was more than one round.
I saw Amanda post about it and I saw Michelle post about it because she was like, Lewis won the first round and they didn't air it, but there were apparently 2 or 3 rounds, but they only aired one of them.
Yeah, because I was going to say that was my complaint. I'm like, this felt like one of our old school like ring games that we like had seen for years, but then like
pole wrestle or something, right?
Like, or like I don't know why just, like, they didn't
real old school rings, like when they used to like use those during the field day games. But yeah, why would you only show us one? That's lame.
I don't know why they would do that, especially because like it gives other again, we're biased, but like Lewis won one of them. Let us see that, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And then
I want to see the
like
whole thing. That's what's part of the fun. That's what builds the
right.
drama up. Who's going to get the next point and how is this going to
Yeah.
go? Yeah.
And it's funny to me too because like they've been giving us so like my first thought was maybe they didn't show us all the rounds because it was 2 eliminations and they wanted to fit everything in. But as we've seen quite often recently, the challenge has not been afraid to give us a cliffhanger. So like, why not
give
do
us one
the
elimination now and
men's
another one the next
the
one.
men's rounds, and then the next episode we start with the women? You know, like I don't know. That was strange, I thought. But in this elimination, we saw Lewis and Amanda both going home, so both from the green team. And I just have to do this in honor of Lewis leaving. Our favorite leader. Where is it? Yeah, that's for you, Lewis.
I'll accept it that time.
Yeah, Lewis the leader. Oh, I haven't done this yet. It's Monday. Sman Monday. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
I actually did see, I think Lewis either tweeted or it was on Instagram, maybe. He did say that like him and Amanda went to the airport together and they were like drinking and talking shit about everybody.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Amanda tweeted it, yeah, and then Lewis shared
it was Amanda. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
She was like, we got McDonald's and talked shit about everybody. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Like we had 3 eliminations. I was very sad about Paulie, very sad about Lewis. Amanda, I didn't really mind as much. Hopefully, like we'll see less of Tori because they won't be having these random spontaneous fights anymore. But I don't know.
Can we talk about the fact that Desi literally plunged Amanda just like we saw Latarian do in All Stars?
Oh man, it was brutal.
Like literally just lifted her up and just kept slamming her on the ground. And I was like, please. I'm like, just, I don't know.
When that was happening, I think they actually did show. I think it was Tori. They showed up, you know, like with the rest of the cast, and Desi was just dunking her up and down, Amanda. And they did show Tori just like,
yeah,
like hands over mouth, like
it was a rough one to watch.
It was. I didn't think it was rough. I thought it was very fun and very deserved. I mean, I will give it to Amanda. She really hung in there. Okay.
She did.
Really, and she did better than hang in there. Okay. She did. She fought back. She put up a good fight.
Listen, she says it about herself, but Scrappy really is the best way to describe her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not sorry to see her go. Fare thee well.
Yeah, you know, honestly, after her performance in the whole sideswiped competition where she got like one of those pieces on the moving trucks, like it's like Amanda really needs to get out of here. Like she's provided her 2 weeks of like entertainment and fights, and like now like any team she's on, she's an anchor for, like not in a good way. Like
even like in her confessional, she was like, "Oops, I messed up again," and it's like, all right. Well,
but I guess she must be on she must be on an upcoming season, right? Because the way TJ said goodbye to her was, "I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing you." So I guess I wonder if you think she's on what would that be, 39?
She's got to be contracted for something.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I did enjoy TJ. I will say, I pray that we see Lewis back on this show. You could see in his little exit interview, he was getting a little bit emotional. You could see how important it was to him to be on this show. And the way TJ was like, "You're a great competitor. I really hope we see you in the future." Like, I could definitely see Lewis coming back. So,
like, do another Ride or Dies type deal and bring in Michelle too. Let's do it. Come on.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I totally agree.
But these comments are so lovely tonight. I'm having a great time.
They are very lovely, but I just also just really enjoy Liz beginning with Jason's opinions usually suck. That's really fantastic.
That's so funny.
But yeah, lots of love for Gina tonight on this Mon Monday.
I love
that. That's right. That's right.
Cute.
Smon Wan Monday.
Why you gotta?
That was not a cue to do it again.
Well, you said it. You said it. So I felt obligated. Okay. After this elimination, though, we did see Chris go back to his team, the blue team, and Desi also defected to the blue team. So we had 2 defections, Bananas and Desi, and they both left their respective teams to go to blue.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens next, but I guess green is really struggling right now.
I feel like they have to like shake up the teams or something because they're down to what, 4 now? Something like that?
I don't even know.
It could be. Because what did you start with? You started with 6, wasn't it? Wasn't it 6 on each team?
8. It was 8 on each.
That was 8.
Yeah.
Because we lost what? Amira, Lewis, Amanda.
It looks like we now have Alyssa S, because Alyssa S is who got swapped out for Desi. So Alyssa's on green, Michaela's on green, Monty's on green. That's 3. So it looks like they have 5, because then it's Tyler and Wes.
Okay.
But yeah,
it is getting lame hearing all this. Somebody's going to have to go twice, and somebody's going to have to go 8 times, and it's like this is starting to get a little ridiculous. Maybe do like
a part of me that doesn't even want teams. Yeah, there's a part of it that doesn't even want teams anymore. Like I don't know, like just make it like an individual game or something like that. Everybody's playing for themselves. They can all work with who they want to work with. Like,
or at least go or scramble them up and do 2 and 2.
Yeah. Because the other thing too is like it's not like being on a team with somebody makes it so that you can't vote for them or something. You have teammates voting for each other anyway. Like these don't feel like real teams at all. Like,
no, they don't. But that is what kind of makes it a little bit interesting, though, which is why I wouldn't want to totally get rid of teams. Like 2 is fun because you have a lot of crossing of the party lines that can sometimes cause some of these fights in the deliberations, right? Because that's kind of what helps make that exciting.
It causes a lot of drama, like we saw in the vote with Red, like you're saying,
that is fun.
Because Josh saying I want to put this person in because they voted for me, and across the table they're going, well, this person voted for me. So
right, it's just getting to a point where I think that it's getting a little silly to have 3.
You think we should have like a merge, like Survivor, like a tribe merge?
Put something together, because green's starting to look a little thin, and like that's annoying because that just puts them at a disadvantage. Because if everybody has to go twice, then they're exhausted. Corey had made some comment like, "Oh, if you're going twice, you better make sure you get it right, or you have to do better the second time." And it's like, depending on what it is, you could be totally gassed out.
Right. And then Blue is rocking with like a team double the size at this point.
Right. And they're just like, they're already losing to begin with, and now they have to go twice.
Yeah.
Like, not really fair.
Were you surprised at all we had a double elimination this soon in the season?
I was, but I didn't like the outcome, but I liked it. I thought it was a fun surprise. No time like the present.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe we'll get a second one. That's fine.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So. But so there was something that we talked about last week. Nobody probably cares about this anymore. But I had said that I was going to go back and look for this. Remember the working the polls competition they did? And we were talking about how it had looked like the entire poll had gotten ripped out of the thing. And I felt like it was weird. Now, I went back to listen to TJ explain the rules and that. So we're talking about week 2 again here now. So I guess I'm all over the place. I don't know if you guys have more for episode 3 and 4, but before I forget about this, I would be so pissed. Obviously, nobody really seemed to care all that much in the cast, and like it ended up not affecting them. But if this happened to me in a competition and then my team ended up losing by like 1 person because of it, and I got sent into elimination or something, I would be so pissed. I took this little clip and I slowed it down. Okay, so check out what happens to Monty in the working the polls competition. Like, there were people in there that were struggling to get across, that like couldn't make it. Like, you can see Monty in this picture, like still holding on to the pole, falling down into the water.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like if that happened to me, like I said, and I ended up my team losing, and I had to like now go into elimination or got sent home because like this pole couldn't support my weight or something like that, like I would be absolutely furious. Like, we saw people sliding down the poles, losing their grip, getting too tired to like make it, and then like they fell. And I get that, but this felt more like an equipment issue to me, and it could have had an impact on the game. Thankfully, it didn't. But like, I don't know.
I
Liz.
definitely would have I definitely would have called shenanigans on that. It broke.
And I
It
feel
was
like
not his fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like this kind of stuff happens more often in the challenge than like other games. I feel like when there's like some kind of equipment issue or something like that, like there's always something funky with the rules in the challenge that like nobody really cares all that much about. Like even the final where Tori didn't have to drink any of those like milkshakes or whatever, and
I still
there's
find
always
that so irritating.
Yeah, like there's always some kind of loophole in the challenge that like, you know, it's just fine if it worked out that way. Meanwhile, we've seen competitions in like Big Brother where some like one person's equipment was messed up, so everybody had to play the competition again the next day or something like that. That happened, I think, with like I forget which competition. I remember that laser one where somebody's mirror like wasn't deflecting it. I was over the top. Yeah, like
I think it was like Shelby and Jason or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that's very old news, but it was brought up last week by somebody that was actually commenting, and I had noticed it too, and I remembered it, so I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You did the good research.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
I also saw a clip circulating of the one from this past episode with the trucks. It wasn't any kind of like faulty anything, but it was just so funny. It's when Blue started like throwing their things away and just kind of playing defense. And there's a moment where I think it was Michaela is trying to get past Tori and she can't. And she just grabs her by her hair and freaking yanks her. It looked like she ripped the hair out of her head. I was like, oh my God.
It also might have been like maybe it was a mistake.
It could have, but you're swinging back and forth on this thing.
It was a hard tug, and Tori was like, "The hell?" I was like, "Oh my God, that was so rough."
I don't know. We also saw Tori literally like ragdolling Janae like a week ago too.
I'm
So
it was a wrong thing. I'm saying I saw it and said, "Oh my God."
Oh yeah, I saw it and I definitely jumped too. But it also could have been one of those things like when you're going back and you're trying to grab something
reaching
to
her
not.
arm and yeah.
Yeah, and like maybe you're just like, oh shit, I should be grabbing your hair.
Right.
Oh, it was such a hard pull.
What was intentional? You think the pulling of the hair was intentional?
I think that's what Kyler thinks. I mean, it certainly could have been, because that's the thing too. Like, and we saw it more. I think we saw it more between Monty and Bananas. Like, they were really bumping into each other hard because Monty said he got heated, and he was like, "All right, you want to play this way, Bananas? I'm gonna make you feel some pain." You know, like
I'd be heated too.
We didn't see. I feel like we didn't see as much of that from production, like between Tori and Michaela. So when the hair pull came, it was much more jarring.
Oh God.
But you could tell it was definitely getting pretty feisty up there between everybody. But
yeah, I mean, as a viewer, I enjoy that kind of gameplay. But like, if that was me, I'd be pulling hair too.
Oh, I would be so.
Every time I swing over, I'd be like punching you in the face. Like I'd be like so angry.
God.
Kyle gets DQ'd for violence.
Oh, I would be thrown out after that. Yeah, I would be uncontrollable. That'd make me absolutely furious. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I don't think I have any other thoughts on the challenge from this past week. Does anybody else?
No.
Just that I wish we had Lewis longer, but
yeah, we missed Lewis.
Whatever.
Yeah, that really that was a bummer. I was really hoping. It just seemed like he was targeted from the beginning, like pretty hard.
Yeah.
People were talking about the Amazing Race people, but he was the only one that actually got thrown in, I think, ever. But Dusty, we'll see. Dusty, he's the only Amazing Racer left, but you know, all this love that he is showing to Bananas, maybe it'll save him.
Lame. I also got so sad because like there was that spoiler account going around that of course I saw a bunch of stuff. So like I know who won. I remember seeing that Amira had gone out first. And then I thought I remembered when Lewis got eliminated. But in my head, he was sticking around way longer than this episode. So I was like, oh, Lewis is fine. And he went home and I went, wait, no, that's not how this is supposed to go. I got very upset because I thought I remembered reading that he was in a lot longer than that.
Yeah. I got to tell you, too, Chris was like talking about, oh, I'm a football player. I know how to make contact with people. Like, I'm going to win this thing. He like totally selling Lewis short. And it's like, Lewis is a firefighter, man. All right. This guy runs into burning buildings. And Lewis, he put up such a fight. I really would have. I wish that like, did they ever do like put up like clips on here like, oh, like we didn't show the full elimination on CBS, so go to Paramount Plus or go to CBS.com and you can see a clip of the full elimination or something, because I would love to see the full thing.
I would love to see him win one.
Yeah.
Maybe if we look, or maybe that's something we get to see during a reunion or something. They don't know if they do that with USA though. They didn't last year.
Was there a reunion last year? I don't remember.
Not for USA, no. They do that in the MTV one though. But yeah, I don't think they do one for this.
I wouldn't even be surprised. I wonder if like MTV might even do a reunion for this, because people like Bananas and Tori and because they still show at the end of every episode on Paramount Plus that I watch. I get that MTV. You know what I mean?
It's like in the logo too.
Yeah, like they've got the stake in it. So like, and if some of their big legends are on this, like Wes and Bananas and them, like I could see them. If CBS doesn't do it, I could see MTV doing some kind of reunion. Maybe that would be cool.
I'd like that.
Let's write a letter.
We'll start
Dear Mr. MTV.
Paramount.
But all right. Any other thoughts on week 2 of the Challenge USA season 2? Anything for the benefit of the community?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay. So that wraps our coverage of week 2 up in the Challenge USA house. We will be back tonight in just a short while, 42 minutes by my clock, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. We will be getting into what we've seen so far this week of Big Brother 25. We'll be talking some spoilers, what's been going on in the feeds and all that stuff, which is very fun. So, Liz wants to know the origin story of the pink cowboy hat. You're going to have to tune in to the 10:30 stream for that story.
Oh boy!
Not a cliffhanger on our
own. Waiting with bated breath to find out.
We have a cliffhanger of our own for that one.
You gotta give the people what they want, man.
So
is that it?
Okay. I'm going to say that it is. All right, so everybody come and hang out with us at 10:30 p.m. Okay. I'm trying to get more people to watch us, guys. All right, like encouraging them not to. There you go. See, Liz says she will.
But listen, if they're gonna watch us, it's not because they want to find out where the hat came from.
I've been getting lots of. This is
fun, but
this hat has been a hot topic. People like it.
Like, listen, I wasn't going to listen to the Big Brother stream, but if he's going to talk about the hat,
listen, don't rain on my parade. Don't rain on my parade. All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, we'll see you soon. This is Strat Chat. We're gonna take a short break. We'll be back at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's it, right? Strat Chat Pod. Check us out on the socials. All right. Bye.